You're listening to another Geek Pride podcast.
Welcome to another Geek Pride podcast. My name's Bevan Clatworthy. With me tonight is Matt Geary.
Hi.
And Mike Orvis.
Good afternoon, morning, or evening.
How are you, chaps?
Yeah, not bad. We had pre-podcast. We had a bit of a therapy session, a bit of a banding around, talking women. Mike giving out actually quite good advice, which was weird, but
what's weird about it?
Oh, Mike, you know what? The concept that you've given me good advice and I've had to accept it just doesn't sit right with me.
Mate, you're clearly forgetting the 4 or 5 times that we've been drunk together and you've sat next to me and been like, oh, mate, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, come on, Matthew, sit down, let's have a chat.
I don't remember because I was drunk.
I just expunge sagely wisdom. It's really annoying because I want to talk about the advice that I've gave because I think that most geeks are kind of at a certain level of socially inept, and myself included. But I think this advice would be incredibly useful for both parties. But I can't because then third parties would know what you were talking about, and I don't want to get
Damn
you in
those
trouble.
third parties.
Yeah, those third parties. That doesn't.
Yeah. Speaking of third parties, very quickly, I don't know if you guys care, but Mad Cats are shutting down.
What?
Oh,
really?
Yeah. How fucking sad is that? Because I thought they were making a killing from fight sticks and being and hosting teams and stuff. But then is it Daigo Mahara? It might be, or Momochi. I forget. Sorry, you might not know who these people are. They're professional fighting game players.
Yeah.
But they left Team Mad Cats. One of them did. I'm sorry that I can't remember which one. Dave, my ex-housemate, will kill me. But yeah, I found out today. Yeah, Mad Cats is shutting down. So what? I don't know what you're going to be able to do for getting your little brother or sister a controller anymore.
I was just about to say, didn't they do like the really cheap peripherals that felt really naff, but they were all right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
so yeah, that's quite sad.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies out there though. It's a very sort of there's loads of them and stuff. Like I've got numerous things. I've got like what have I got here? Rockcat, and I've got Razor, and I've got Mad Cats, and I'm wearing something else which I can't remember. Oh, Turtle Beach. So you got millions of these things going around. So. It's a doggy dog.
I thought you said you were wearing Victoria's Secret.
Oh yeah. Well, that's my lingerie. You see, that's why I'm sitting here.
Okay.
What peripherals does that guy make?
Nipple tassels.
Well, you have to spin them to turn left.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Stream idea. What?
Write that down.
We've been trying to make Geek Pride sexy for years. Do you remember when there was that massive sexism row on Geek Pride? When we had the lovely Katie who was a model, did some modelings, and she posted it going, Geeks now available and sexy, and everyone was like rah 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 rah. So I took a topless picture and was like, Geeks now available in both sexes, and then everyone complained about that as well.
Oh shit! Like, well, yeah, dude, that's weird, man. I just like everything. There's a thing. Ricky Gervais has been in trouble recently because he sort of like in Belfast he made a joke that didn't go down too well, and
I heard, and then like some parents walked out. Didn't they?
Yeah, which I can kind of semi understand and stuff. If you've been in that situation, you're not going to find that shit funny. But then it's just like, it's a comedy show and he's known for being shocking and stuff like that. So it's one of these things. So it's just Geek Pride. Yeah, I've learned a lot over my years, my 4 or 5 years in Geek Pride, on really to hold my tongue, as much as sometimes I put my foot in my mouth, probably more than I would like to admit, but I've learned that there's certain things you just can't get away with, and you need to really sort of kind of think about what you're going to say, because people get offended quite easily, so you got to be really careful.
Yeah. I mean, I have a Facebook, Twitter policy of I do not reply. If I see something that makes me really cross, I will just go away from it because I do know that there is no good that will come of it.
That's the most English thing I've ever heard.
I just take a walk.
Sorry,
make some tea.
I've not heard a fully grown man that wasn't like a teacher go, "Oh, when I get really cross." That's really tickled me. Sorry. Oh God, Bevan, have you ever sworn? Have I ever heard you swear?
He did swear. I'm pretty sure.
In the last podcast, yeah.
He did,
I might have started putting it on a bit more than I usually do, because it was like
buggery, shitty, bollocks, C-bomb,
poppycock. Yeah, exactly. It's yeah.
Whoa. You want to fucking slow down, sunshine, throwing poppycocks around.
Here, Bevan.
Someone's going to get hurt.
On a completely random note, just because it's just popped into my head now. You used to sort of doing reenactments and stuff, and you used to have like armor and shit, didn't you?
I do. I still got it. It's still tucked up under the bed in the spare room.
What am I looking at for like getting some armor and stuff? You know, I'm only asking because I'm going to a medieval banquet.
Right.
That my lovely girlfriend bought for us in Combe Abbey, I think it is, something like that. And basically, it's a banquet, and you dress up as people there, and you can get these really naff sort of like Amazon-esque like costumes and stuff. But I'm like, I want to do it properly. So I want to get some.
Like the chainmail bikini and thong, then. Not not the look.
Not the one my brother wants me to go with, which is it's a night to remember, and it's basically a knight's outfit, but with a big massive dick, hanging down.
Oh my God. A night to remember because he'll knock you the fuck out with it.
Yeah. So how much am I looking for like a suit of armor?
It depends how far you want to go with it. If you want it to be sort of combat ready and proper weighted and everything, you're looking at thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
If you just
someone like all that armor's made by hand, right?
A lot of it is, yeah. I mean, unless you go to places like there's a bit of a market in India, surprisingly, for doing sort of medieval armor. You can get a decent suit of chainmail from there, quite cheap-ish, like about 50
I thought
quid.
they were quite technologically advanced. Is that their army? Or?
Yeah, they just wear that on a day-to-day basis, just going around with pikes and halberds.
I did see a thing on what was it, eBay, and it was armor from India, and I was like, ooh, that's quite cheap. But then I was thinking, yeah, the postage is going to be exorbitant, and I'm going to get absolutely raped when it comes to taxes when it comes into the country. So I thought I'd leave it.
It won't be great, but it'll probably be in terms of the cost you'll save, it'll probably be quite high. I mean, I can't guarantee that, but
just wear leather. Do what I did. There's a picture on my Facebook. I went to a medieval thing. You just find like a leather waistcoaty kind of thing, big puffy shirt. You can't really do anything with your hair, but I did something with my hair, and then you're fine. And you're all right. Everyone's like, oh, he's cool. Maybe get some leather, like, I don't know what they're called, like cuffs.
Okay.
Whatever those cuffs are called.
Get van braces.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah, get some van braces.
Failing that, wrap yourself in tinfoil.
Yeah, I just don't want to be that guy. He's just like he's just got the St. George, what's it called? Outfit from Amazon. I don't want to be that guy.
Why don't you get a like kids night set and then find like a kids night outfit and just wear that. So like you're wearing it as a belly top.
Wow, that would
and with a sword and shield.
Bits bulging out everywhere. Nice.
That would not be traumatic in any way, shape, or form.
For who?
The people there.
Didn't I say that you'd done a few sort of looks into Warbler and a few cosplay kind of things?
Well, yeah,
Is there anything out there you could maybe?
I can make armor, but it'll take me ages. I was thinking, I could just rock up with my Star Wars armor instead. I could just take off the sort of like the thermal detonator at the back, and I could sort of just sort of kind of wing it and just say, yeah, I'm the Red Knight. I'm a Red Knight, and this lightsaber staff is really a holy relic, imbued with the love of God. So that's it.
Why don't you dress as a wizard?
Oh, I could be a wizard. I do have a
fucking great idea.
I do have a big. I do have like a Jedi cloak, which could go as a sort of wizardy cloak. It does have wizard sleeves.
Yes.
Wizard sleeves.
Do it. Go as a Bevan.
Wizard sleeves.
You filthy Aris.
You said it.
I can't believe you're like that. You're like that kid in Role Models. You're like Whispering Eye. She said Whispering Eye.
What does that mean?
Oh
right. Oh yeah. Have you ever heard the expression Mumblepants? That's my favourite word.
No, what's that?
Is that okay for the podcast? I don't know if that would be deemed sexist.
Yes, fucking expunge immediately. What's Mumblepants?
Okay, right. I just want to preface this with this: I am not sexist in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Right.
You should see
Okay,
Bev
so-
on the group.
right.
He's a fucking filthy bastard.
I am dirt. Okay, right. So, Mumblepants are trousers that are so tight you can see her lips moving, but you can't tell what she's saying.
Oh,
Oh my god. Bevan. It's always the quiet ones, isn't it?
my God, that's insane. Bevan Clatworthy, I never thought I would hear anything like that coming out of your mouth.
It might be a Cornish thing. I don't know.
Oh, fucking hell.
Look at that girl running over there. She's got a lovely pair of mumble pants.
Here, what's that, love? Oh, couldn't hear you there.
We used to go through like stages of trying to name, like women's bits and men's bits in the most random ways possible. So like you've got a yogurt slinging womb ferret would be a man's.
Oh, for goodness sake! I did make my ex-girlfriend call it the furry-based pillar of erectile supremacy.
Amazing. And then what? You conquered, or
Because
that sounds like a Conan reference.
Well, I mean, I was going for something Conan. Wait, Geary, why don't you just go with Conan?
So loincloth and sort of, I just do not, at this moment in time, I haven't been to the gym for a bit, feeling a bit podgy.
All right, how long have you got?
Sort of like Arnie
until
now.
you got?
No.
How long have you got until the meal?
I've got like a week. I've got to go to Benidorm next week for a stag do.
Oh, you poor thing. Oh, everyone, the poor CEO of Geek Pride's probably spent all our YouTube dollars to go to Benidorm. Oh,
yeah, because we get that much money from YouTube. I don't even think like YouTubers, that many YouTubers get much money from YouTube these days, from what I've been hearing complaints wise. I mean, it's not a lot of money. I've got to admit, I've been doing it for 3 months now, and I've earned my first $1. So that kind of gives you, But I'm really proud of that $1. Like, I can't get it out because it's stuck in an AdSense account. But I mean, it's there. Yeah,
it's there
sort of
under
like
my name.
there's like a limit or something where when it reaches like $60, they give it.
Let me blow your mind, okay? So I'm not going to name names because I don't want to talk finances, other people's finances. But there's a friend of mine who does a podcast about audio, and he had a musician on that's quite popular on YouTube.
Yeah.
It literally like million hit videos through like his playthroughs and his guides, and he'd do like these. He was doing like the 15 different styles videos before 15 different styles videos were like a thing.
Oh, okay.
Was talking to him about AdSense because I'd been speaking to my friend about AdSense that day and said, oh yeah, bet you get revenue. And he's like, oh yeah, I think I set up AdSense a while ago. And he's like, well, do you want to check it? This dude hadn't checked his AdSense account for 2 years since he'd been like making videos. He had $2,500 sat in his AdSense account. Yeah, and was just like,
that's great.
Oh, I've just got to put my details in, and then he put his details in, and then literally just withdrew £2,500.
Brill.
That's amazing.
There's 2 months' wages. Thank you very much. I'll just sit on that then. Yeah, lovely work.
Yeah, brill. Wow. Okay, so I want to talk about a video it was a picture in a video that Andy Haig put on Facebook today, and it's a dude who got eaten by a python. And, I thought, it's going to be one of these fake ones. But there's actually a YouTube video of them cutting open this huge, fucking massive snake. And this guy is literally like crushed up in this snake. And it's just like, fuck me, man. That's insane. This guy was... He was probably
drunk or ill.
He was out, apparently he was out
really...
getting palm oil. He's a family with like 2 kids. He was out getting palm oil. He literally was just like, I'm going off, do my job. and apparently like some villagers heard some screams and then couldn't find him, and then were wandering past near where he lived, and there was this huge fucking snake with this massive bulge. And apparently they thought it was him because like sort of poking out of the bulge was like a boot shape where his boots were and stuff. So they killed it, opened him up, and there he was, dead.
I mean, that's really odd behaviour for even like a huge snake, like a Burm. I'm going to imagine it was like a Burmese python or something along those lines, python, or an anaconda. But yeah, like that's really rare and odd behaviour. That steak, wild steaks roaming around. They're called cows, Mike. For a snake that size to attack and kill and eat a human, that's got to be fucking hungry. We're talking 6, maybe 7, 8 months without food, and it would have been like desperate for it to attack a human, because even like that.
He was he wasn't obviously a huge chap. He was a small chap, and it was a big python. He wouldn't be any bigger than sort of like one of the larger pieces of game that those snakes might have gone for.
Yeah, but humans in particular, we're relatively new according to the snake, if you get what I mean, evolutionarily speaking. So when a human's there making noise, being big, being different, a snake's going to feel threatened. But 9 times out of 10, a snake is going to go, either going to give you a quick nip and fuck off, or it's going to just try to escape from you.
Right.
Because you're big and different and dexterous. So the fact that this big snake not only kind of attacked him, I imagine what happened, and obviously I don't fucking know, I wasn't there, but this guy fell from a tree, or he hit his head, or he was unconscious, and he woke up midway through the crushing, because a snake wouldn't just try to eat you.
Yeah,
especially if you're a human.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. If anybody knows anything about sort of like big ass snakes and wants to comment and let us know,
I mean, I can ask my friend who's like a big. Like I keep a snake. It's like a tiny one, but I keep a snake, and I know a little bit about. I know more than your average man about snakes in general. Otherwise, I wouldn't be kind of expunging now. But I can talk to him because he's like literally kept sort of 13, 14, 15 foot long snakes.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
Would be able to talk about.
I didn't actually read the article that went along with it. I just watched the video and went, "Oh my god, that's messed up," and then stopped because it was
Could we get?
Yeah, it's just...
Could we get? I reckon we could if we approached him and got the timing right. Could we get Brian Barczyk on this podcast? He's the guy who runs Snake Bites TV. He runs a snake breeding place called BHB Reptiles. He's like a super positive guy, and he's the Steve Irwin of snakes.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
Why not? Well, the thing is, I want to sort of push trying to get more random guests in. So why not?
Yeah,
let's try and get him.
All right, I'm going to message him.
Yeah, you should do that.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that. Good.
You do that. Here's another thing. You can see if this is bullshit or not. But one of my friends informed me.
Bullshit. You don't have any friends.
Yeah. But no, and I kind of semi-believe this because my ex-girlfriend from years ago, she had snakes, and
she was a snake.
Yeah, she was a snake, but they kind of would do similar things. But they kept on finding the snake. It would escape. From it, it's what do they call a snake in it? Snakeanarium? What do they call them, Mike? What do they call?
Welcome to my snakeanarium.
Snakeanarium.
Welcome.
We have vipers and cobras.
What do you call it? Where do you put it?
Vivarium.
Vivarium. That's it.
Or a terrarium.
Terrarium. Yep.
But no, normally.
I'm just going to call them snakeanariums then. So it escaped from a snakeanarium, and it obviously, I don't know, because they're big muscular things. They could just literally push the top off and get out. So it gets out of its snakeanarium, and it's sort of, if it's obviously looking for somewhere warm and stuff, but they kept on finding it sort of like literally flat out, like long, not coiled but long, up against sort of one of them when they were in bed and stuff.
Excuse the sound of typing, but I know what you're talking about, and I'm going to Snopes it.
Yeah, and they were literally like it was pencil long, and they couldn't understand why it was doing this, and they asked somebody who worked in a snakeanarium place, and they said it's sizing you up. It's trying to see if it can eat you or not. And I was like,
yeah, okay. I've just snoped it to confirm what I thought anyway.
Yeah.
And it is false. Pythons don't measure their prey before going after their meals. They grab, squeeze, and eat. There's little fretting in their nature about relative sizes of intended edibles, nor does it all that much go into their thinking process. To look at it another way, if pythons were in the habit of measuring before striking, they'd likely starve. Most of the prey wouldn't willingly wait for them to finish mimicking tape measures before consenting to them to be eating. Basically, a snake can look at you and go, are you about 1.5 times the size of me? If you are 1.5 times the size of it or smaller, you can be eaten.
Ah, right, okay.
So,
there you go. You learn something new every day. Myth busted, then, they would say.
Mike Orvis, resident Geek Pride snake expert, snakeologist at the Snakeanarium.
Like
the Geek Pride Snakeanarium.
From the Snakeanarium.
Hello, I'm Professor Michael Orvis. Welcome to the Snakeanarium. We've got vipers and cobras and all sorts of crazy wiggly wigglies. No, they're not slimy. Crazy.
It just sort of kind of reminds me when I used to work with Gearston. I haven't seen him in a while. I feel bad, but he's busy.
Is he dead?
He's getting a house.
Or is he okay?
When I used to work with him at the insurance company I worked at, he used to sit beside me and he'd come off with some of the most random things. And I was like, dude, bullshit. There's no fucking way. But he's like, yeah, my mate. I know it. And he said to me, he's like, my mate, you know, in Japan, they worship cats. And I was like, bullshit, Gearston. He's like, no, my mate, they do. They worship cats. I was like, fucking bullshit. So we had the AQA, that shit. I was just like, no. And it's like, there's an island near Japan where they revere
it's
cats.
Full of cats.
Yeah. But they don't worship cats. And he's like, oh. And then he was coming up with stuff like, you know, how a crocodile would beat a great white shark and things. But he was like,
what?
he was like dead serious about it and stuff.
A crocodile would eat.
We had a list of all the things he was coming out with, and they were all like bullshit. And it was just like his poor little sort of like, you could see his face like he'd been lied to all his life and these things that he believed. And it was just like, oh, dude. But it was brilliant, you know. Anything he would say, it's like, dude, bullshit. We're AQA in that. I think he was right on one thing, and I can't even remember what it was. It wasn't really that important, but anything else, it was like, dude, bullshit. But yeah, there we go.
Well, okay. Here's another bit of non bullshit. Snakes have one lung that's bigger than the other, so that they can crush their prey. They'll always coil a certain way to crush their prey.
I actually heard that. Actually, yeah.
Along the side of the smaller lung. So yeah.
Brilliant. Nice.
More snake facts.
Well,
they smell with their tongues.
That most people know, I think.
All right. Well, they also have scales and no legs.
Then isn't something
unlike their cousin,
they've got like
the dragon.
one big foot or something. It's just sort of like
stomping around. Only when the cameras go on and they go, oh shit!
Like
they've just discovered the boot in Mario 3, and they're just like.
Some of them have like a spike or something towards their where they're.
That's like a sex thing.
Yeah,
it's like a sex spike.
A sex spike. Yeah,
it's not a little leg.
I you know, I just like, you know, when it comes to sort of like evolutionary things and how animals sort of kind of evolved, like there's like, was it like foxes get stuck together and stuff when they're having sex?
Oh
yeah,
they
basically they hump like behind, again, animal sex behavior. I'm your expert. They kind of hump side by behind like fucking, you know, mammals do from behind, and then basically, yeah, the dude gets his little like knot bit fully inside, then he kind of twists and they kind of lock in until he's finished copulating, and it's extremely fucking painful for the females, and that's why you hear them screaming like they're being murdered in the middle of the night.
Wow.
Okay.
Same as cats. Cats have like barbed penises. It's fucking horrendous.
Cats confuse me, man. Right, my cats especially.
Sexually.
But it's like, you know, they're brother and sister. My cats, and
yeah,
it's just like I guess I appreciate. I'm probably thinking about it human ways, you know. But my cats
absolutely
just don't sort of kind of get on very well, and it's like. Jeffrey, he's the sort of kind of ginger and white mellow one. You know, all he wants to do is eat and sleep, and that's probably about it. You know, he's quite placid, whereas she's very high strung, and she beats him up, even though she's like the third size of him. She literally every morning she runs up to him and clobbers him just to make sure I'm the fucking boss. I'm the boss. And when he comes in for food and stuff, and like we haven't fed him, she clobbers him again just to make sure that's my fucking food. All right, and but you'll be sitting there and they'll be on the bed, kind of sort of close to each other, and she'll go up and she'll sort of look at him, and she'll start cleaning him for a bit, and he's like, oh, she's not going to clobber me, brill. And so she's cleaning him for a bit, and then she suddenly like sort of gets aghast, like something's gone wrong, and she gives him this, her ears go back, she looks at him, and then she just pummels him and fucks off. And it's like, what the hell?
Cats are fucking assholes.
Yeah, they really are. And it's just like, he was just sitting there beside me, chilling out, and she comes up to him and just goes, yeah, I'm going to clean you, I'm going to be nice. Nope, you've pissed me off for no apparent reason, I'm going to fucking hit you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. We've talked about snakes and cats for 25 minutes, brill.
And never the twain shall interbreed.
Wouldn't
be okay.
What would they be called?
Snats.
Snats.
Snats, yeah.
Holy...
I wouldn't want to name something so horrendous.
Would it be like a cat with a snake, a cat head and a snake body, or a cat?
I think it would be a like, you know those fucking deformed munchkin cats.
Oh, the little legs.
Like, so those legs on the body of a snake and furry with ears.
That's weird.
Just waddling around with like still quite a long part of the neck able to stretch out, because if you're building this creature of pure hate, you are still going to need its ability to just fucking strike at you with lightning precision.
What would be the two worst things you could put together, Mike? If you could get any two creatures in the world and put them together to make the most horrendous, horrible beast.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I got it. Mole rat and an elephant.
What?
That sounds adorable. Yeah. That sounds adorable.
Yeah. Wait,
I'd love to cuddle a elephant.
Isn't the mole rat the one that's got like, it's like a skinned horrible thing that's got massive teeth and it's really gribbly and nasty.
It has got
but then
no
the size
eyes.
of an elephant.
Oh right, yeah. You're saying the size of an elephant. Okay.
Yeah,
but then
that'd be fucking terrifying.
But it'd be half and half, wouldn't it? So it might have a long chunk, so it might be comical. It might be sort of kind of
no.
and it would be blind as well, so it wouldn't be doing very well.
Oh, that would kind of suck.
Running into trees and shit. I'm thinking sort of like a huntsman spider crossed with a one of those fucking spiky horrible fish that only live in the abyss.
Oh, like a deep sea angler.
Yeah, one of those, like those two together, that would be the ultimate, like, what the fuck is that?
Okay. The body, like the lower abdomen of a camel spider crossed with the top half, but hang on, the top half of a simian monkey, but the face of the monkey is still an 8-eyed fanged spider.
Right, okay, so it's got hands now.
It's got 8 legs, hands, and poisonous fangs, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
I'm just going to check under the table.
Yeah, man, I just sort of...
That's where because I think the thing that freak you out the most is you either go for something that's so utterly unlike anything you've seen before, or you go for a bit of uncanny valley and just try to get, and I think monkeys crossed with stuff is kind of fucking freaky.
Yeah.
Little grabby monkeys. And spiders freak me the fuck out. I can't handle.
Are you an irrational fear of spiders? I've got friends, 2 guys who I worked with, 2 big fellas in my old office, who sat either side of me. Literally, you couldn't even show them a fake spider without them like nearly screaming like girls.
Oh no, I can handle that, and I think it's. I handled, without going into like a gentlemanly chat, which is back, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, without going into a gentlemanly chat style 20-minute like, this is what happened to me as a kid. This is my relationship with spiders. I used to be utterly terrified.
Did you fall down a well full of spiders, and then your dad...
No, because that would have been fucking awesome.
And then your dad came abseiling down and said, "Why do we fall, Mike?" Get back up again. And then you started fighting crime as...
Well, this was the thing, right? I loved Spider-Man as a kid. Like, Spider-Man was like one of my favourite heroes. Absolutely, hands down. I watched that fucking terrible 90s show where no one ever threw a punch, but the soundtrack was awesome. But yeah, spiders used to freak me the fuck out all the time. Now, I am at the stage where I can put them in a glass and take them outside, no matter what they are. And I think it was probably a case of my ex's brother was a massive bug nerd. And he used to show me like little tips and tricks with spiders. Like, oh, this is how you bring this type of spider out. This is what you do with this spider. This is what this spider doesn't like. And I think that's how you combat any fear initially is knowledge and fuck it bravery. You have that fuck it moment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same as when you're looking to get a tattoo or a piercing or you know, leave someone or fucking learn to drive or whatever. I think there's always like that fuck it moment where you've got this anxiety and this fear, and you just get this moment when you go, nope, fuck it, right, I'm just deal with it. So that's they still freak me out. Like, if I get up close to one, the idea of the spider's eyes and mouths freak me out, and the front two legs, you know, when they do that raise up thing that they do, that freaks me the fuck out. If a spider does that, even if I know it's around, I'm like, I turn into a mess. I'm sweaty and shivery, and it has to be on fire within the next 5 minutes.
But I think that's,
deodorant can lighter.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'd Rorschach the shit out of a spider. Yeah.
Yeah, but
if it starts doing the raisy leg thing, and the ones that jump as well, they can fuck off.
But that's like, I think that's just in general. If you've got sort of anxiety for things or fear of things, just sort of literally taking the proverbial bull by the horns and just going, fuck it, I'm going to do this. Like, I had this sort of like. I had like a massive comfort zone, and it runs in my family because my sister and my mother are very like this. Like, they don't like being out of their comfort zone. They don't like doing things outside of it because I don't know, it scares them. And I was always the same. I was like, if, you know, I was always asked, you know, my old job, do you want to go down to London and stuff? I can't go down to London. You know, London's a big place. It'll scare me. I'll do this. And like, it got to that point where that time when me and you went to the Film and Comic Con in London, Mike, and I went down on my own on the train. I forced myself to. I had to get like 2 trains and a tube and stuff, and I forced myself to do it, and I felt better because of it. And then after that, I started kind of going, right, that was kind of scary, but I'm going to force myself to do more things whenever I get to that point when I get sort of like tight chested, and I'm like, I don't want to do that, you know, that sort of. Part of me now just goes, fucking do it, just do it, you know, just do it. And it's just like, you know, like Geek Pride, things like this, you know, doing, you know, audio or doing stuff in front of the cameras or whatever, you know. Part of me back in the day would never have done anything like this, but as much as it still gets that sort of like nervousness, you're kind of going, fuck it, just do it, you know, just do it.
Yeah. And I completely get what you're saying, mate. I had this epiphany with doing creative stuff over the course of the last 6 months. I mean, again, I spoke about it in the last Gentlemanly Chats, but I 6 months ago, maybe a little bit before that, 6-7 months ago, I literally couldn't write anymore, because every time I did, someone that was very close to me had said, you write a stream of conscious nonsense, you're not a good writer. And every time I went, like, my hand hovered over a pen or a keyboard, I just started to sweat and cry, and I couldn't fucking do it. And there just comes that moment where you just gotta go, oh, fuck it, why not? And it's like jumping off high things when you were a kid. You do it the first time, and you're sitting there at the precipice being like, oh shit, and then you do it, and you're like, that was fun, I'm gonna do that again. And it was easier and easier and easier the more you do it. And that's the same with anything. If you're scared or anxious about anything that's not like completely rational, like if you want to, I don't know, someone said go jump into that pit of venomous snakes, then you've got every right to be scared. But if someone says, oh, write this thing for me, or oh, can you record this thing, and you say yes, and then you're sitting there going, oh fuck, you've just got to do it, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, Yeah, I think if you put too much thought into it as well, you start overthinking it and you start playing yourself down. Whereas you just, like you said, the jumping off a a cliff sort of thing. We were in Dubrovnik about 3 or 4 years ago, and everybody there was this like this cliff thing. You could jump off into like this like lagoon type thing, and everybody else was sort of kind of standing there and sort of kind of psyching themselves out because it was a big drop and like going down to a lower stone so they could jump in. And I just went, I'm not gonna do that. I'm literally just gonna run up, not run, but I'm just gonna jog up. I'm just gonna throw myself off without even looking. I'm just gonna do it. And I did it.
Yeah. Long story short, broke every bone in my body.
Yeah. Like it's not a good example, but I was like, if I stand there, I'm gonna psych myself out. I'm not gonna be able to do it, and I'll look like an idiot because my girlfriend's watching, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go. I've seen somebody jump in, they made it. I know I'm not gonna die as long as I sort of kind of hit in that direction. So I just went, and I did it. And I survived, and it felt good because I was just like, I fucking did it.
Yeah, I mean, a personal example of that is when I'm doing sort of design work for a new idea or a new game, and they always seem very, very cool in your head. You put them together in your head and you go, oh, you could do this, that, and the other. These are the mechanics. These are how everything's going to interact. Oh, this is the theme, and it all seems brilliant. And then you come to put the prototype together, and you start seeing the holes and the little flaws and the how would this work in this situation, and then the whole crux of it, the whole crunch point comes down to putting it in front of someone and asking them to play test it. And that's that. I've had so many designs, so many prototypes, which I've just gone, do you know what? I'm just going to put that back on the shelf, and it just sits there. And it's just awful.
Do you because I'd love to be able to make a game like me and actually in Ben Fee and stuff. We're thinking about sort of kind of creating sort of like a sci-fi type game and stuff. And
sorry, I just got a fan of my YouTube channel just sent me a game.
Sweet.
Over Steam. Like literally, I do not know this guy. He's added me on Steam. He found me on Steam. He's added me and. Oh, that's so nice.
I have to say, Mike, I actually watch your Beardy No Mates and stuff. Your little.
I like the fact you said I actually watch.
I actually watch it. As much as you always go on about how I don't watch your things, I do. I sat there and watched you. Sort of. What's the game where you're walking around and farming and
Stardew Valley.
Yeah, that I've watched too many. I've watched way too many of those for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's really quite calming, isn't it? Yeah. It's such a nice game. It's going to be. I'm literally going to.
You're trying to meet people, and you're like, yo.
Yeah.
You were fishing.
It's really nice.
I think you were fishing the last one I saw you.
I was doing some fishing. I'm probably going to do some more fishing. I found out between the video that's coming out today and then next week's video, I found out a whole load of stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is how you play the game. Sorry that I've been doing it wrong for this long. So we're about to start summer. It's very exciting, guys. Come find me at Beardy No Mates on YouTube. It's very fun and very relaxing. And then there are other videos where I do shouty stuff at games that literally involve memes. You should come check that out.
Sorry.
So sorry, you were saying, I'm really sorry about that. It's just my Steam notifications pop up and I'm watching the recording happening and it just popped up going, hey, love your videos, have a video game. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah,
sweet.
Sorry.
Bev, when you're sort of like, do you get sort of protective of your creations and stuff? Are you worried if it goes to playtest that they'll turn around and go, dude, this fucking sucks?
Oh, it's happened. They kind of look at you. They look at you, and I think it was the funniest thing. One person said, "Yeah, it's like I've just smashed your baby in the face with a hammer," and I was like, "It is a bit like that."
Yeah,
it does hurt right down deep in my soul.
I can understand that, and I just sort of, the thing is, you've created a game, and congratulations on the reprint.
Yeah,
the reprint,
second fucking print, dude. That's amazing.
I know, it's exciting, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Give it a whirl. Tell everybody about it. You might as well. Ghost Tell. What's happened?
I think we've been on the podcast with this before, haven't we? Or what's happened now?
He has.
Oh, right.
Feel free to plug it again.
Plug.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what's happened is we ran the Kickstarter last year. We got a minimum print order of 1,000 copies, and it was so popular. I'm down to sort of like the last 60 odd copies in my my spare room. Everything else has been sold or given away to the backers as required. And the demand has been high enough that we've now gone for another 1,000 copy reprint.
Yes.
And we're now trying to sort of stretch our legs into sort of the German markets and the Asian markets, those kind of places, to see if there's anything there that would like to take that on as well. Because it's just, the theme of it is, it's scaring guests out of a hotel with cutesy art and these little ghosts, the little ghost meeples and the dice. There's a lot of mechanics that make it very friendly for families, and that's kind of where the sweet spot that we want to hit.
Well, you should come up to Geek Pride HQ and play it on our gaming table, Bev.
Yes.
Yeah, I should, shouldn't I? I could bring up some armour for you then as well. You could wear some chainmail.
Yes. Oh, grill.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you know, Matt, but I'm happy to sort of talk about it in very vague terms. But the reason I was going yes when Bevan was talking about playtesting his game is because I have also made a board game that is currently being playtested by a couple of close friends. We're on version 2.1 at the moment. I've got to add some more species. I don't really want to talk about the game. I'll talk to you about it off record, but I want to make sure that everything's sorted. But it was kind of, I came up with this idea, and it was I had a long chat with Bevan, who kind of, because he was my inspiration for actually doing something with it as opposed to just sitting with it in my brain.
Aww.
And yeah, well, you were, man, absolutely. Like you're my fucking internet mate, and then you suddenly go have this, motherfuckers. It's literally, this is a thing from my brain that you can buy and is real. And I'm like, fuck, that's amazing. I like it when people make stuff from their brains that you can buy and is real. Not that I have bought a copy of it yet, but that's because I'm currently jobless. But I won't be in the next week and a half. So as soon as I get my first paycheck, reserve me a copy.
Don't worry, mate. I will get you sorted.
Well, I mean, a hand job would be lovely, but
I'll send that through the post.
Yes.
I'm just saying this like Mike
please send me a hand job through the post. That sounds incredible.
I can just see Mike opening it. What? I wonder what this is. And then literally he opens up this box, and then Bevan's hand just pops out and starts jerking him off.
I'll line it with tissues as well. I'll just take care of everything. It'd be amazing.
But I'm like, literally, I'm leaving my house and I go, oh, a package, I'll take that with me. And then I drive to my mum's or something. I'm like, well, mum, happy birthday. Here's your cake. I love you so much. This is great. I'm just going to open this package. And then they're sitting there like Nan's there, and everyone's gathered round. And then it's just you like, you're like, no, Bevan, no! Oh, I need to go to the bathroom. And you have to run away or being wanked off by the hand of Clatworthy.
The mighty fist.
Clatworthy's mighty fist. Oh my God! I'm allowing you as senior manager of podcasts at Geek Pride HQ to have your own spin-off called The Mighty Hand of Clatworthy as a podcast.
Brilliant.
But basically, with your accent and as nice as you are, but you do it. All your dialogue is that of like a fierce barbarian. Bevan, do you know the phrase from Conan, "Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women"?
Yes.
If you can just for me, just for my own fun, just go, and today's advice is, and then just in your voice, in the way that you do, in your unimitatable style, just tell me that. Just so, and today's advice is, and then crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of the women, please.
Cool. If you could just message that to me on Skype.
Okay, hang on a second. See, you don't know it,
I
you
will
motherfucker.
read it. Oh, I know the
give me a
phrase. I
second.
just want to get the wording exactly right.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Ignore the typing.
Da.
Will this be in the final version? Who knows? Oh, it's so secret. So secrets behind the camera. Today's advice is.
Oh man. I don't do music. Can you tell? I picked up a guitar once. I tried to learn, and I don't know whether I've just got stupid finger syndrome or what, but I just couldn't get past certain chords, so I gave up.
All right, Bevan, it's done.
Okay, right.
It is done.
So you just want me to read it as if I was just sort of talking to a guy down the pub or something, or?
Yeah.
No. As if you were signing off a podcast and you're like, today's advice is.
Right. Okay. And today's advice is: crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. Dude, Bevan, I think that should
Bevan Clatworthy, the Calmbarium.
That should definitely be a thing.
That's amazing.
We should give you a barbarian phrase or something each podcast, and you need to end it. End the podcast tonight's
advice. Barbarian advice.
And tonight's advice is, and then you say that amazing. Yes. That's a thing now. That is a thing.
Okay, I'm just going to get you in. I think Bevan Clatworthy reading Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes is the best thing.
Okay, we'll get you one for the end of the podcast, and you
I've got one for you right now, and I'm gonna give it to you over Skype.
Awesome.
And
when you sign out, you have to end it with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. See, everyone gets a meme, don't they? Everyone gets a meme or a style or something, and never in a million years did I think it would be reading out Arnold Schwarzenegger as a slightly well-spoken Southwestian gentleman.
This is fantastic.
Okay.
That because that quite right,
got it.
Okay.
Right.
Excellent.
So should we carry on?
Yes.
Yeah, we can carry on. Let's just forget about that for a bit. We've got about 15 minutes, and then you get to drop that bomb.
Brilliant.
So
which I'm so excited about.
There's been some news of some games that have come out. So we've got Destiny 2, and we've got Warhammer Total War 2 coming out. So I think Mike might have something he wants to say about Destiny 2. So fire away, Michael.
Thrice bitten, twice shy. Do you know what I mean? I loved Destiny when it came out. I had a really nice time with a few people that even allowed me to call them their friends. I had like a really nice time. I didn't think that the Dark Below was as terrible as people were calling it. And the Taken King was like my last straw. I was talking about this today actually because someone said, "Oh, Destiny 2, you excited?" And I was like, they've got to do a lot, and I mean a lot, to get me back and all the fans they burned, because what they did was go, hey, this is an FPS RPG that you can play with your friends. What they didn't go was, hey, this is an MMO that is an FPS as well, and then proceeded to try and sneakily put in a load of MMO shit like microtransactions, like paid for expansions.
Yeah.
Which 20 quid for an expansion, by the way, when you're getting, is not worth the money. And the kind of, let's pay £16 so that we can get a different colour to our armour or a slightly different mount. Because that's all the sparrows are, they're mounts, guys. Like, wait, I don't know if you don't know that. Sorry if I've blown your mind. But every horrible aspect of MMOs made me quit. You know, seeing people do their dailies and hanging out with the kind of people that once they realised it was an MMO went full MMO and were just like, right, we're doing this raid and we need you over here and we're doing this and we've got to do this. You know, I had some amazing times in that game, but the fun very much dried up after 6 months, and then I just felt like I was being taken the piss out of by Bungie for another 6 months and until I finally quit. The Taken King was my final straw because you didn't bring out new enemies. You gave me a few new guns and a few new shaders, and you expect that to be enough content for me to stick around.
I wasn't I didn't even get as far as sort of some of the expansions. I played it because obviously being a massive Halo fan, Bungie's new thing, I was told it was going to be a Halo killer. I was like, I've got to play this. You know, Bungie, the last game they had done was Halo Reach, which is by far the best Halo game that's come out. I was like, this is going to be amazing. And I wasn't underwhelmed, but I wasn't. It just didn't sort of. It could have been so much better, and I think it just felt half-arsed. Not half-arsed. It felt like they were just going to. We're going to put DLC in here, so we're stopping it at this point and stuff. So I got towards the end of the campaign, and with me and my brother, we played it, and that was it. I had no real interest in carrying on, and I did a review about it ages ago, and it's like I enjoyed it, but I just wanted it to be more than it was. And so Destiny 2 isn't really on my radar at this moment in time, unless, like you said, it does something big to sort of change things up. But I wasn't really...
I mean, I've mentioned this in several other podcasts for other websites. I've written whole articles for other websites about Destiny. I'm currently pitching an article to several magazines about Destiny 2. This really needs to pull something out of the bag, and it really needs to treat its community better. Also, where's the lore? Do you know what I mean? Where's the lore? The story of Destiny is actually amazing, like the background lore, but you have to read that on the internet. You don't read that in the game.
Oh, lore.
It's a strange way to do it.
I am the law.
No, I'm the law. No, but, I mean, surely, and I'm not the only person who thinks this, but I'm the only person I think that's pitched it that I've heard of. Where the fuck is Tales from the Grimoire? And what I mean by that is, why is there not an anthology comic book? Why is there not a novel? Why is there not a series of comic books featuring each of the the characters that you've grown to know and love? Why isn't there movie content? Why isn't there an animated series? Why is there there's nothing bar they recently there's a load of clothing deals that they did with Insert Coin and other guys like that, and there's they've recently brought out some figures. I mean, you're 2 years too late to cash in on that particular thing, bar the die-hard fans who won't shut up about it. But where the fuck is all the other lore that makes the other big gaming franchises so successful? Because it's not just the games and it's not just the gameplay. Yes, they are helpful, but you treat your community like a community by giving them stuff that they want, i.e. more stuff around the story. You give them more of a story, you give them more of a Bible, you give them more of a myth and a legend to follow, then they will become your fanatics.
Well, that's it, wasn't it? Because I don't think there was that much sort of story behind it. That's when I played the game, I was like, I don't know who I am really. I'm just a guy who's woken up, I'm doing a thing, and I've got Dinklage. He's not in it. He doesn't do it anymore. But I've got Peter Dinklage sort of kind of following me around, talking to me and stuff. And it's just like, I don't.
Did you hear the rumors?
No.
So the rumors were that the writing staff were fired right before the end of the project, and because they had the rights to it or something like this. It's very sketchy and I don't know the full story, but it was something along the lines of some of the staff were fired taking the story with them. So The Dark Below and House of Wolves were supposed to be part of the main story. Like when Destiny released, it was supposed to be this thing. And then if you remember all the press for Destiny, they're like, we've got a 10-year plan for this game. And it's been 3 years, and now they're like, Destiny 2. And you're like, well, what about this 10-year plan? Because they've lost people. I think Destiny 2 could be a massive apology for the fans they've burned, and an elevation for the fans that are still there. If they do that, then yes, sweet, amazing. And the only way you're going to convince me of that is if I go round to someone's house who's got it. I'm not fucking buying a copy. So you either make it free for a weekend, or I'm going to have to go over to someone's house and go, right, show me why I should continue playing Destiny. And if they can convince me, then sweet, I'll grab a copy. But if they can't, then I'm done with Destiny for good.
See, I was in a slightly better position, I think, because when I started playing Destiny, it was only sort of about a month ago. I got given like £20.
I know, I was very disappointed in you.
Sorry?
I said, I know, I was very disappointed in you. You listened to...
Well, see...
You listened to the...
Overwatch just took over my life. But anyway, I digress. I ended up with Destiny. It only cost me like £5 with all the expansions and everything. And it's a decent FPS shooter. I enjoyed the sort of... The control systems are great. The aiming's great. The guns that you use are fantastic. But it had so many weaknesses, and I think, as you rightly said, one of them is I've got no connection to my character. I mean, I got to build a robot, which I thought was fantastic, but then as soon as the helmet goes on, it's like, well, why did I waste all my time with that? It was just completely pointless. And then the guns, don't get me started. The upgrading system is a complete joke, because as soon as you go out again and do another mission, you get another gun that's slightly better than the one you already had, so why bother upgrading the other one?
I know, but that's the thing you get with MMOs in general, and that's one thing when, like, I was a WoW addict, which used to frustrate the fuck out of me. You would literally spend, half your life trying to find materials, or, raiding, or doing things to get, a sword, and you get it, and you go, fucking yes, I got the awesome sword, and then some guy would just rock up with something better because he's done X raid better than you, or the most annoying thing, you'd get to the level cap, you do all the best, you get all the best armor, you get all the best swords, and then they got a new expansion would come out, and the first green drop you got was fucking better than the shit you'd spent, years building up. And I was just like, that's when I was like, I've had enough of I can't deal with MMOs anymore. I get really, really sort of like, I feel slightly nauseous when I play MMO. So I can't bring myself to doing it anymore, because, as much as I loved World of Warcraft, it nearly ruined my life. and I have this thing. So any MMOs, I will stay on for minimal amount. I'll play the game, get to the story end, and then just sort of kind of, I'll stop. I won't sort of carry on.
Yeah.
They make me feel sort of like, I'm not going to get into that stage where I'm literally, I'm a pigeon hitting a button from pellets and stuff. That's what it felt like. I'm not enjoying.
Absolutely.
I'm not enjoying this game. I'm just doing it because the competitive side of me wants that piece of gear. I'm not enjoying doing what I'm doing. I'm just doing it because that's what I need. And I that's not what games should be about. Grinding is one of the worst things ever. I hate it. I really, really, really hate it.
I don't mind the grind when the reward is substantial. I remember when I played the first raid with a group of guys, all middle-aged men that they played MMOs before. They'd never really been big into FPSs. There was like one guy who was really good, and I'm not bad cop at an FPS. And we played for fucking hours because we were noobs. We it was the first time we were doing a raid. We just about met the level requirement. And we played for 3, maybe 4 hours. One of the guys had to drop out. He's like, I've got fucking work in the morning. My daughter's just woken up. You're like, okay, cool. So you're like fucking playing, playing for 3 or 4 hours. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. We beat this boss. We're all like, yeah, fucking A. I got a cool gun. And everyone like gets a shader. But one guy literally just got a shader.
Yeah.
And he went, you've given me a fancy fucking colour for my armour. I've just sat here for 4 hours. You've given me a fancy colour for my fucking armour.
Well,
and I was like, well, yeah, that's the game, man. That's what it does. And I was trying to defend it, but like, yeah.
Well, it's the same.
You've grinded for 4 hours, and that's all you end up with.
But it's like in World of Warcraft, I was in a guild, and I took it really seriously and stuff. I played for ages. Like,
no,
I wasn't
doesn't
sort
sound
of
like you.
I wasn't sort of like I only had one character, because that's always the thing when I'm in these. I can't have. There's people who have multiple characters and stuff. I have one character. And I'll try and max them out. And we'd go in raids, and you would be in this raid, you'd be hanging around for an hour trying to get everybody together and stuff. Then you go in the raid, and you were there for a good 4 or 5 hours, like you said. And at the end of it, after all of that, you'd actually be down, because you'd have to repair your armor, and you'd have to, buy things, and you wouldn't automatically get the thing in the raid. You would literally just be, all right, so I've just been here, oh, brill, and it just be so disheartening. Like, sometimes you get something cool and you're like, yes, brilliant, totally worth it. But that wasn't very often. And it would literally half the time the things nobody needed, and it would end up in the guild bank, so it could be sort of disenchanted for materials and things. And it's just like, oh man, that's so disheartening, and it turned me off MMOs, stuff like that. I just couldn't do it. And even now, as much as like I get the call from World of Warcraft, oh, we got a new expansion, like, you should come back. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that shit. Nowhere near that anymore. Can't do it.
Yeah, or when you level up and the next skill you get is just dog. You think,
yes.
Oh, okay.
You can jump.
Yes.
What? You can jump slightly higher than you used to be able to jump. It's like, what the fuck? Ah, man.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. It's also, I feel like I'm wasting time. I think the one thing that really there was a point when I was playing World of Warcraft where I caught myself on basically, and I was sitting there, and my long suffering girlfriend at the time had actually started playing World of Warcraft just so she could spend time with me. That was how bad it was, because she started playing, and I just remember I was bored, and instead of being sort of like doing something outside, I just thought I would be bored, but I was bored inside the game, and all I was doing, I can remember myself doing, I was flying around in my epic griffin, just sort of kind of going, ooh, look, I'm bored, and I wasn't doing anything, and I spent hours and hours and hours doing that, and I went, I've missed band practice, I could be painting some miniatures, I could be doing something else, I could be doing something productive, I went, I need to stop this, and the next day, I left the guild, apologized, and I deleted my character and stopped.
Yes.
Cold turkey.
I literally went.
Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Matthew Geary, and he has been. How long have you been clean?
I've been clean. Oh shit! It's gonna be, when did World of Warcraft come out? 2003, 4, something like that.
Don't know.
I would say it's been about 10 or 11 years, maybe more. Yeah, and I literally just went, fuck this, I need it, and
yes,
I need to get rid of this, because I knew if I even sort of went back to it slightly, it would be, game over. I'd be back into that shit.
Yes.
So I just went, fuck it, never again.
10 years and no fucking relapse, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what we're doing here tonight on this call-in. If you call this number below, you can help people like Matt who have crippling nerd addictions. You just heard, thanks to the donation that you've made, he's been 10 years fucking clean. Now, if you can just donate to my PayPal, I'll make sure all the money gets to where it needs to go, and we will make sure that we can live a world where people aren't not going out and doing their dailies instead.
It's true. It's I like the thing about sort of Warcraft, especially like, well, not even Warcraft, just sort of geek addiction to things like that and stuff. I can understand why geeks do it. I can understand why.
Well, it's escapism, isn't it? It's escapism
it's
and
pure
control.
Escapism. It is pure escapism, and it's like,
well, not pure escape. It's you've got that element of control as well. It's why so many people ran to D&D.
Yeah,
fantasy that you can control, and that was board games. It was D&D. I'm not saying it isn't anymore. Like, not to diminish that, but now video games where you are basically, AAA games nowadays are, I'm in control of the movie as opposed to I'm in control of the game. It's a fundamental, I wouldn't need to escape from the world I'm at. I feel powerless in the position that I'm in life for whatever reasons, but it is normally, the subjugated, the geeks, the oppressed, the people who are bullied. They will find a thing that they want to escape into. Did you see this week that, and I don't know, I found it via Twitter, that Philip Schofield was a bit of a fucking legend in regards to online bullying.
That was amazing, where the kids, he was getting bullied in school, and they got him on the phone on This Morning.
Yeah.
Oh no!
And he like,
what happened?
Okay, so there's like this. So it sounded like when you start listening to the clip, you've got this worried mother, and you're thinking, right, this is going to be some horrendous, like, fucking scum of the earth mum who's bullying her son or something, and she's like, or she's going to be over like protective, and the son's going to like yell at her and be like, fuck off mum, I've got a job, or you feel like it's the setup for some funny, and she's going, yeah, he's massively bullied, he's got no friends, he doesn't want to go out, he's up at night on the computer, I don't know what he's doing, blah blah blah, and I'm just thinking he's probably having a wank, but actually, this kid they said, will you get him on the phone? And she's like, well, he's sat with me now. He's like, will he be okay speaking to us? So good old Scofers gets on the phone with this kid. And this kid sounds fucking forlorn. He sounds fucking depressed and not in the good way. He'd been on like medication and stuff, as you find out throughout the course of this clip. And this kid's, fucking depressed. And Scofers is all like, what are you into? Like, what's your thing? Which is like the perfect thing you say. Like, you're bullied, you don't feel like you want to go out. What's your thing? What are you doing on the computer? And he's like, I like Doctor Who. And that could have been like a reason to like laugh or giggle. And Scofers is fucking on it, 100%. It's just like, you like TV? You like this show? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, right, come down and watch the show. Come hang out with us for a morning. And he's like, yeah, cool. And he said, and after this, I'm going to have a word with the BBC. Remember, he's on fucking ITV. So like, he has no reason to do this.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to go and have a word with the BBC, see if you can come down and see Doctor Who for
Oh
for a
shit!
day.
Yeah, fucking him.
That's
I didn't actually think
amazing.
about that. I forgot that was an ITV thing.
Yeah, so he's
and he
breaking
wasn't actually on the
contract.
BBC. Yeah.
Yeah, he's breaking contract, like 100%. There'll be a no compete clause in his contract. So, like, technically, he'd get a bollocking, but he's Philip fucking Schofield. He does what he likes.
He is such a nice guy. I don't think obviously. Do you remember Gordon the Gopher and stuff back in the day?
Oh, Gordon the Gopher.
The Gopher, yeah. I don't think Philip Schofield's always been a stand-up guy, hasn't he? I don't think you can see him in anything where he's really put a foot wrong. He's always been that sort of nice presenter.
He also doesn't age. He just grays his hair deliberately so that he's actually a pod person or something. I don't know.
I tell you who else is really nice. Like, I know he's had a few slip-ups, but Jonathan Ross is like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
The reason I went on a bit of a journey this week with Mr. Jonathan Ross, because I've had trouble sleeping, and I started watching literally randomly on Netflix something called Penn and Teller Fool Us, which is Penn and Teller, if you don't know, two of the world's greatest musicians. Magicians, Mike, twat. And they do this show where they're in Vegas and various magicians. It's like a talent show. They come up, they do a trick. If you fool Penn and Teller and they don't work out how it's done, then you get to open up for them in Vegas. It's like the chance of a lifetime. Awesome. And Jonathan Ross is the host. And I was kind of sitting there on my third consecutive sleepless night at like 3 a.m. watching this fucking Penn and Teller thing. And just being like, Jonathan Ross is like so nice. He's so nice. Like, it's reassuring. If you've got Jonathan Ross hosting anything, even if he is being a bit tongue-in-cheek, even if he is being offensive, even if he is telling people that people have fucked their granddaughters, he's just really nice. He's just like really...
He's always at the conventions. He's always at like sort of London and stuff, and he's quite happy to talk away to people. Like, he was sitting in the food court when I saw him last, and he was just bantering away to people beside him and stuff. He doesn't, I don't think he cares.
Well, I sent out a tweet last night just going words to the effect of, Jonathan Ross could host a live execution and it would still be great because he's so gosh darn nice. Dude likes my tweet, responds to me going, thanks, I'll probably skip the execution though, and follows me back on Twitter. Oh. I'm like, what a lovely dude. What a lovely fucking dude. And that like made my night. Like, I still couldn't sleep, but I was literally watching him on Penn and Teller and being like, you responded to me in the world. You're out there in the world and you knew my name for like a split second. That's just really nice. It's just a really nice thing.
At 3 a.m.
There are... I sent the tweet out about 1. He responded at about 2, yeah.
Right.
He's a party animal.
Crikey. Yeah. He's a bit of a geek as well, isn't he? He's quite into sort of anime.
Yeah, really.
He's written comics, mate.
Japanese stuff.
Yeah, he's written comic books.
No way.
Oh yeah, yes, right. That's why he goes to conventions, because he does write comic books. And stuff.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. I think his comic's called Rust.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Hang on, which is ironic because Wust, but Rust.
Ow.
Jonathan Ross.
Yeah, so I've been singing his praises, and now I'm just going to insult his speech impediments.
He's called @Wassy on Twitter.
Brilliant.
He picked that name.
He owns that now. He owns that speech impediment and the joke, doesn't he? That's part.
He absolutely
that's another
does.
way of control, I guess. I suppose. Yeah. Coming back.
Oh, absolutely. Which is why within 5 seconds of it's called Turf. It's not called Rust. It's called Turf. Which is available in all good bookshops. You should go and check it out. Published by Image Comics, who are the best.
Cool.
At producing the comics. What was I on about before that? Oh yeah, owning the thing. Yeah, that's why. Like, if I'm 5 minutes into talking to anyone, I will have pointed out my weight, the fact that I'm hairy, and the fact that I look like some kind of bog troll within 5 minutes, because I take that power away. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how my insecurity spreads. It's like, I'm a massive nerd. They'll hear that. I do it in job interviews. Like, I'll get across, I am a massive nerd. It's in my CV going, as a massive nerd, I write and edit and podcast for geekpride.co.uk. I try and get it all out there and just be like, okay, I'm now defended because I've made all the jokes first, so you can't hit me. Kev Smith does it all the time. Hey kids, Fat Kev Smith here. He's getting that in before anyone else can kind of have a pop, because it takes that power away from the bullies or the attackers.
Wow.
What?
It's just an amazingly deep way to go.
Mate, it's not the Geek Pride podcast unless I've expunged on some deep level about some sort of nonsense that doesn't really need that level of deep expunction.
See, I always feel at the end of something like that I should come up with something deep and meaningful as well, and everyone could just sort of sit around with their smoking jackets and go, yes, I agree, but...
Bev, you have the perfect response to anything you feel like. If you feel like you don't know what to say, there's an Arnie quote right there, ready to go.
Damn it! I missed my chance. Balls.
Hang on a minute. Is Geary with us?
I think so.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, cool. You went very quiet for a bit.
I'm sorry, my girlfriend seems to have started talking to me again now, so that sort of carries on from our little
Things
therapy
you don't
session.
Want live on a podcast. What's your girlfriend's name?
Louise.
Hi, Louise.
Hello, Louise.
Oh.
Matthew loves you very dearly. Yes. He might not show it all the time, but I just want you to listen to the reassuring sound of my voice. Louise, he loves you with the fire of 1,000 suns. He would probably punch a horse for you. Not that you'd want him to do that, but he probably would.
She'd be very upset if I punched the horse, I think.
Well, I know. I've just said that. I'm trying to help. Right. Things that don't make the final cut of the podcast. Jazz hands. Does anyone else want to talk about anything else? Or can Bevan say an Arnie quote and we just get the fuck out of here like the crazy cats we are?
I think we're just at the right stage now. I think we've gone through the rabbit hole of Destiny and crappy games, and then we finished on a high note of own your bullies.
Yes, Bevan, what I want in an ideal world is that we all say our goodbyes and then you just do it as the Jerry Springer's final thought.
And now my final thought.
Yes. Good idea. Let's do that then.
Right, okay. So
you basically you're gonna kind of go I'm Bevan Clapper, blah blah blah, say your thing.
Well, this has been the Geek Pride podcast. I'm Bevan.
And then we'll do our things.
So
and then you do your thing.
I do my thing. Then you say Matt. Then you say Mike. And then I go. And now for my final thought, and now for Arnie's.
And then you've got to sort of put a bit of a thought. So now for my final thoughts. And then you got to get
you've got to be as legitimate. You've got to fucking sell it like you're giving really nice advice. Imagine that you're giving advice about how to keep jam jars clean or something.
Right.
That kind of
just sell it.
Oh, top tip.
Jam and
Try this. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Go.
Right. And I think that's a good way to end the podcast. So I've been Bevan Clatworthy.
I've been Matt Geary.
And I have always been and will continue to be Mr. Mike Orvis.
And I just want to get a little bit real with you guys here. I live to see you eat that contract, but I hope you leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine. Remember those words, folks.
Good night.
Good night.